this week we have another movie that is a really good example of you can get a lot of the technical stuff right and still fail pretty miserably in the story department.
Yeah.
Just because you can do really cool special effects and get a bunch of people on board as extras and make a movie look visually really impressive.
Right.
Does not mean that that's a reason to slack on the story.
No. I don't know that it was slacking. I just think it wasn't vetted very well beyond the writers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, I think that is slacking. I think lack of vetting, lack of getting an opinion from someone other than your brother and whoever.
Well, that's true.
I mean, that's laziness to me.
Yeah, we're kind of giving it away. But anyway,
Oops.
Makes me wonder, because we've heard from people who've had actors approach them about things. Like, I don't know about this. How about this? But the people that we've talked to about this are, very open-minded and collaborative.
Right.
And understand the whole process. I don't know that I thought about it till just now, but what was the set like? Did any one of those people walk up and be like, so these 9 pages.
Read the fucking words, monkey.
It's probably what happened. Okay. Well, that appropriately, I think, sets the tone for what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, little prep work.
Let's do this.
All right. Let's get to it. Hey, B-siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-side. This is Joan.
And this is Danny. I'm not even trying to mess you up.
I don't know.
I guess my face is hilarious.
It's your actions, whether purposeful or just because. Oh, my God. Okay. So welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-side. We have a movie.
Yeah, we do. It is a movie.
It is a movie. It's got a stamp and everything that says so. Which we will be getting to shortly. Let's see what's going on. The Disc Dump podcast, by the time this comes out, will have been run through its entire October. Manifest of Masters of Horror.
What a spree. That's
right?
So much editing.
Yes. I listened to Miles' episode on Sick Girl today. It was hilarious. It was a stinker. Kind of appropriate. But, hey, folks, if you haven't caught the Disc Dump podcast, give him a listen. It's not just movies. It's video games, music CDs. Anything that came on disc. He is doing the big purge over the length of his podcast and, has to make a decision every episode. Yeah. Although this was a Halloween special.
Right.
Kind of thing going. So, yeah.
All right.
Let's see. We don't have anything really happening in the B-side barracks here.
I mean, just the projects we've been continuing to work on, which will, eventually
pushing through,
see the light of day.
Yeah.
Hard doing, 100 million things all at once, but we're pushing through. We're making progress on stuff. So,
well, it's that thing went home with the kid, even though she's doing all this virtual classroom stuff and everything is, time is being taken up. It's hard to get into something time consuming because it's like always at the ready.
Right.
If there's a problem, want to be on it.
Right.
I don't know.
We're also currently working on a pretty big personal project. So
yes,
it's taking up a lot of our time that would otherwise be dedicated to our creative projects.
Way more time than it needs to. And at the end of this personal project, we'll probably talk about it because I have some things to vent.
It's an experience
about it. It's ridiculous. But anyway, let's get going on this film.
Yes.
This is one you stumbled on.
Yeah. So just a little bit of backstory here. I follow a bunch of filmmakers on Twitter. We both do. Mm-hmm. And this particular filmmaker, I follow him, and he was tweeting about this this movie that he did. And I saw a tweet that just kind of caught my eye, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it made me really interested in this film. The tweet was something along the effect of he was addressing people who had given it negative reviews.
Right.
And he had the trailer linked. And so I took a look at the trailer and I was like, this looks like a really ambitious independent film.
Yeah. Because I remember now you sent me the trailer.
Yeah.
And I put it on the mental list of things. And we just, all these things, everything kept getting bumped down.
And just because of the scope and scale of what was in the trailer, I thought, well, it'd be worth a watch. We could do an episode on it.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah. Why don't we get going on that and tell us what it is we are about to unveil?
Sure. So this movie is called Invasion Planet Earth. According to IMDb, it came out in 2019, but it was actually released in early 2020.
Yeah. I don't
that
know
happens sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know where they pull their dates because the movie copyright date will have a certain date, and then it's like
the release date might be another date. And
yeah.
So anyway, it was directed by Simon Cox, written by Simon Cox and Simon Bovey. Hope I didn't butcher that.
Thanks,
starring yet another Simon Haycock, Lucy Drive, Julie Holt, and Danny Steele. It was not rated, as is typical with most indie films. Mm-hmm. We could not find the budget.
Nope.
No. And so here is the plot / logline, because I don't want to speculate on the budget.
Spoilers.
After the death of his young daughter, Thomas Dunn is a man who has lost his faith. On the day he finds out his wife is pregnant again, aliens invade the Earth.
Right.
I have a couple thoughts about this logline.
Oh, share them, because I have some as well.
So, while this logline is, I guess, technically correct. Yeah. It makes it sound like the movie is about something that isn't what the movie is actually about.
Well, here, I switched it over. Here we go. I'm going to say that it's partially correct. Because I didn't get the first part.
Right.
That this was actually part of the movie. After he lost his daughter,
that didn't happen in the movie.
His faith.
Right.
Well, I mean, they reference it, right? But
spend about 2 seconds on it throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, but nothing on this avenue.
Right.
Yeah.
It is not a good logline.
It's not. It could have been almost anything else. But why don't we jump into this? And I think things will become a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
On our feelings about this logline.
Yeah. So we start with space. We have like flashes of the Earth popping in. It is a little disorienting. Mm-hmm. Then we're on Earth. There's a kid playing with a spaceship against the backdrop of a car window.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of flying it as the car's driving. So
Yeah.
it's like it's. I have sound effects. Why am I making my own?
It's too late.
It's fine, I guess. And it was pretty adorable, this scene. Partially because the kid is cute, but also partially because Jim started nerding out over the spaceship toy.
Let me tell you about this spaceship toy. This is one of those things. This was like one of the last things I ever expected to see again. I had this spaceship when I was a kid, and it was called Firebird. And it was awesome because it was just this ship that the sounds it made was like, and then when you tipped it down, it was like, and then you tipped it up, and that was pretty much it. But it was really cool because like the front end came off and you could take the engine piece off and make it into like a little attack fighter. And what made me laugh about this is he's playing with this, and there's in the middle of the back portion of this spaceship, there's supposed to be this like big plastic ball with a gun sticking out of it. And anyone who's ever had this fucking toy knows that the ring that slides over the ball to hold it in place never stayed. And anybody I ever knew with this goddamn toy, within the first year, it's like, well, that fucking gun turret's gone, man. I don't know. It kept bouncing away, rolled away. That ring just kept falling out. You try to, fly it around and just off it would go. Yeah. But
it's missing the ball.
And here's the thing. This spaceship is not from any show, any comic, anything. It's just somebody decided, hey, let's make a spaceship because, all the Star Wars toys are kicking off pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do that. So they did. And people, kids like me were like, give me that.
Yeah. I need it.
Oh, man. But it has been fucking decades since I've even seen an image of that. So I just thought that was awesome that was the fucking toy.
It is cool. And this movie starts out really promising. So we next see some TV program on like an old tube TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's a science fiction program called Kaleidoscope Man. Yeah. I don't know why that's the name, but okay. The effects here with the TV and the mock TV show are actually pretty impressive. Yeah. They're obviously homebrewed, but they're good. And then there's a voice on the show warning the planet of Earth that no one's going to save them now, and it's very dramatic. And there's the kid from the car and like another kid enjoying the show. And I mean, I really liked the show intro, the fake show credits.
Yeah.
As it were, that rolled. They're pretty spot on for science fiction shows of that era.
Yeah, it was like an 80s, mid 80s kind of thing. They had the music right.
Mm-hmm.
They had the cut scenes, like all the shows had the intro,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All the characters of the show.
Made up of what could arguably be their decision of the finest moments of the entire series.
Yes.
Rolled into a 60-second, here's the show kind of thing.
Yeah. And so it's playing, and it's kind of clever because it's the credits of the film playing over the credits of this fake TV show.
Right.
And already I'm like, this movie, it's a love letter to sci-fi. I know what this is.
Yeah.
Right?
We've seen this a million times.
Yeah.
And right away it's like, oh,
I love it.
Okay, I'm in for this.
Yeah.
Then we see a bunch of little kids outside playing as if they're in the show. And that was another thing I was nerding out about in quiet, because I'm not going to lie. In elementary school, we would play Battlestar Galactica. And for those of you who don't realize, Battlestar Galactica is from the 70s. The sci-fi version is a remake that Ron D. Moore did. Had some great people in it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, we would play that just like these kids were. But then the kids end up at a vintage auto repair shop. And the blonde kid's father owns it. And the blonde kid is the one with the spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it was his couch they were watching the show on.
I think it was his brother. He was with his brother.
Oh, with...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, because that... Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
uh, so anyway, blonde kid's father owns it, and he gives the boy a bracelet. The father does, that he's wearing, and then the kids leave. Then we cut to a man laying in bed, much more recent, modern day.
Yes.
And a woman is in the bathroom sitting by the tub. And then he's up and about on his way to the bathroom. There's boxes in the hallway. I'm not sure where that played in. I just want to bring this up because I thought maybe it would later. You know, did they just move? Are they moving? Is he just like going through shit? Are they cleaning house? None of
It's
this.
not super clear.
No. And that Tom, who's the man, needs to get in and get going to work into the bathroom. So he's apparently looking forward to another horrid day at work. And then the wife points out that he needs to get the boxes up into the attic. So then he's looking at a box, and it has the bracelet that his dad gave him as a child.
And he puts it on.
A bit later, they're in the kitchen, and she's doing up his tie, his lucky tie, because he had some meeting taking place.
Right.
Presentation or something. To cheer him up, she shows him her positive pregnancy test. And apparently, and I kind of deduced this, wasn't made clear.
No.
Super clear. Apparently, they had a small child who passed, given the shots of the pictures that they cut to bang, 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 showing both of them with a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we cut to a very alien looking background. And I say background because it happened so quick and it was so convoluted visually.
A lot of it is.
I had no idea what I was looking at. So I only assumed, because I knew aliens were involved, that it was an alien background of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the Earth. And then we see some shots of the brain and the nervous system.
Yeah.
No real reason. Just there.
Yeah. So the wife is a school teacher and she gets to work. And I was wondering at the time, I'm like, so this seems to be a British film.
Yes, it's a UK film.
And I was wondering, okay, the trope in Britain, and I mean a little bit in America, but not as heavily portrayed.
Right.
But the trope in Britain for like a sweetheart, down to earth, can do no wrong woman is always a school teacher.
Right.
Always.
I just want to point out, with exception of detectorists.
Oh, right.
Because, yeah. Becky, our beloved school teacher, is just so full of sass and vinegar.
She really is. I love her, though.
It's kind of comical how she acts in her personal life to think of her as with tiny kids.
Yeah.
All day long. And it's hilarious. It just, yeah. But given that kind of, that's also a thing. Someone in that kind of a role, but is like, you know, fiery. But this woman's not fiery.
No.
She's kind of humdrum.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So she's telling the kids the story of Noah's Ark, which I thought was a little weird.
Right? Because it didn't seem like it was a Catholic school or Protestant school.
No.
It seemed like school.
Like a public school.
Yeah.
But whatever. So there again, there's this like theme of second chances seem to be coming through, right? With their kid,
right.
Second chance to be parents. And
even though one of the kids in the class was like, he killed all the unicorns.
Yeah. And she was like, didn't really have a good answer.
No, she's like, well, I just kind of forgot about him.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Whoops. They missed the boat. So I love you.
I just thought that was brilliant. It was like one of the highlights.
Yeah. And I noted this very much toward the beginning of the movie, but it does come up again later in the movie. This theme.
Yeah.
So the guy is in the cemetery now, and he sees a plane fly by, and this is where I caught his name because I didn't catch it earlier. So
Right.
Tom, and he's greeted by Father Robert,
Yeah.
who mentions the lost child,
Right.
and he says, you know, Tom, you've been through a lot, yada yada yada. Tom doesn't really look like he's been through a lot, though. He looks, I don't know, fine.
Yeah. Looks like honestly, he just looks like a guy who just hates his fucking job and is not happy with his station in life.
Right.
I didn't get anything that oozed through the screen to me of I'm so emotionally shredded
Like
from
I'm
the loss
bereft.
of a child.
Yeah, I don't have any faith left.
Right.
That didn't.
Oh, the
really...
faith thing never even occurred to me.
No.
Because, folks, Father Robert is seldom in this, and when he is, he lends nothing.
It's true.
Nothing to the faith belief system at all. It's more like we just need another face, so it's not always this guy.
Yeah. So Tom calls his wife and starts leaving a message, but the phone makes a weird noise.
Yeah.
And then there are a couple of other people in the cemetery. There's one woman and then him and Father Robert, and they all look up curiously. Then we're back at school, and all the kids look out the window curiously and mysteriously.
Mm-hmm.
And wife looks out the window, and Tom looks at this guy back with him. And there is a lot of this, and it did already kind of start to bug me, where it's like almost like you couldn't spend more than 10 seconds with a single character. And then it's a storm, and there's like tons of explosions, and it's weird, and it's disorienting. It's a lot of little teeny tiny microsecond cut shots of different shit happening.
Yeah.
And then we're back to Tom, and everything is normal.
Yeah. And then he leaves the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
I bumped this while I was moving my stool. Well, for the last few weeks, we've been in here, and every time I move my leg back like this, I hit the goddamn lever.
Oh.
And all I do is rotate on it to get up and out of this. And
Mm-hmm.
today I've just decided, I'm going to actually move the fucking stool because I'm tired of it.
Genius.
So anyway, okay. I think we're good. So he leaves the cemetery. The father, however, looks like he's feeling rough. And honestly, the way he was portraying it, I couldn't help myself. I thought, yeah, you don't want to be drinking. My first thought of him was of a typical Irish Catholic priest on any given day. Because he doesn't look like he's like caught up in something. I thought, well, maybe while we weren't looking, while Tom was leaving, he was like,
Oh, taking some sips.
down in some whiskey or something. Because yeah, that's what he looked like. Looks like he, it's 10 minutes to service time, and he just rolled out of the pub. Here he comes. So he stumbles up to the altar, and that's all we get because we're back at school. And Mandy, the wife, asks her assistant. I don't know why she has an assistant. It's like 10 kids in this class. Did you see that? And well, apparently the assistant, seems not.
Right.
So Tom has arrived at work, and work appears to be a mental hospital.
Kind of, though. I mean, it doesn't actually look like a medical facility of any kind.
No, and this is what I love about indie film, because we watched that super stinky, well, you watched a few minutes of it, where it was supposed to be a woman's prison, and it looked like the trailer of a ranger station.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a maximum security prison? There's not enough room for the 6 of them. Anyway, it did look like just a free location.
Yeah.
And this building was not fit for the role. Let's just say that. A woman is complaining about the fire door. She shall henceforth be known as Fire Door Woman. Because I know there's a bunch of names.
It took me a while, but I eventually caught them all.
Yeah. Well, it didn't take me long to stop caring about the names. So I gave up before I got into it.
Yeah, but you always get the names, and I never get the names. So the fact that I did get them eventually made me really proud of myself.
Well,
so
you should be. You had stick-to-itiveness.
Give me that.
We're spoiling our overall thoughts on this.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, something about the fire door, There's a man in the woman's bathroom, and he comes out with a banana as a gun, and he's ready to go to war. He's wearing a stocking cap and a jersey. This is a common thing in the UK, especially outside of London. Like in the rural areas, it's almost like people who, when they go to like Jersey and they expect to see, an Italian restaurant guys out there with big gold chains and t-shirts and sweatpants and the glasses and sometimes a hat. It's a stereotype on film that has been played through and through. And this is the same thing. He's in his trackers or his sweatpants and some generic jersey.
Yeah.
Like basketball jersey. So not like football, but like tank top jersey over a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And his cap. And then he's off to the TV room. And now we have a woman in a room who's painting, doing some art. Tom stops in, and her stuff is a little grim. It's dark, mushroom clouds and the like. He checks her arm, and we see a bunch of old track marks. And she insists she's clean. So I'm thinking also she's there to recover. I don't know that addicts are supposed to be admitted to mental facilities. That's why we have addiction recovery facilities. Mm-hmm. But this is the UK, so I'm going to roll with it.
And then, for really no good reason, we have a quick shot of the wife listening to the voicemail. Then we're back to Tom.
Yeah, no reaction.
No.
And then the voiceover of the voicemail. And we cut away.
Literally just her listening to it. Then back to Tom, who's trying to talk some guy into not shutting down his mental hospital or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And because all the staff will be fired and the patients are just fucked, I guess.
Right. Well, here's the best part. He's going through this whole thing like, I can find places in the budget to, cut this and that. And apparently it's already been done.
Right.
So it's like, okay, tell everyone to pack their shit and get to the curb. You'll have to find somewhere else for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's happening right now. We're fucking done.
So this whole meeting was pointless, I guess.
It was, I don't know what it was set up for.
So then we have these cut shots of Earth in some more explosions. And I did know as I was watching this, there's a ton of super recognizable Creative Commons imagery. From like space pictures to generic mushroom cloud photos to, I mean, they're not generic. Every photo of a mushroom cloud is a, real mushroom cloud that happened.
Well,
but
right.
You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing, but because there's so much of it, I was like, does this mean something? Am I supposed to recognize these and know what the symbology of this is?
I did not write this down. But during this bit, the first thing I thought of was an Ed Wood fan.
Oh, sure.
He got his hands on a library of free footage, royalty free, permission free, and by God, every frame.
But you know what?
Was put to use.
I'm not going to super knock it, but what I will say is if you can do that and it works and fits with your movie, then absolutely, yes, do that.
It absolutely does. I have done it for our little film project.
Our quarantine short.
For a sequence that I thought, and I found some footage from the fucking 1920s. Silent stuff that fit the thing.
Right.
And that's fine. And that's why that stuff is all out there. And before anyone gets the wrong idea, we wholly encourage you to use every resource you can. However, discriminate.
Well,
if you got 10 clips, you're like, oh, this is a cool clip. Oh, this is a cool clip. Okay. A, make sure it has something to do with your movie. And B, make sure it needs to be in the movie. Because if you got 10 of them, you could probably get away with 4. Right?
Right. Like one of them I recognized was the Oklahoma City bombing. Yeah. That was in there.
Yeah.
Just.
And folks, if you're wondering about Ed Wood, scroll way down on our episode list because we did Ed Wood.
5 films.
Yeah.
In one episode.
Yeah. Because we were talking about him as a filmmaker.
Right.
A lot of admiration for him. The movie's basically sucked. They're so bad they're good. They're funny, most of them. And but when you watch an Ed Wood film, there's gonna all of a sudden be like a solid 3 minutes of just senseless stock footage.
Yeah.
And some of it has nothing to do with anything, but he has it.
Yeah.
So he throws it in. So
use it, but discriminate. You don't need to throw your whole library of Creative Commons stuff in your movie.
Make more movies to use the other stuff.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Okay.
So anyway, we're back at the school for another super short scene that was pointless. And then Tom is making plans with his wife that evening at 8 via voicemail and text. These two, Tom and his wife, who I later learned her name was Mandy.
I just said her name.
Yeah, I know. But I kept missing it. Anyway, they are like playing phone tag all fucking day.
Yeah.
So
in between the weird
right
stuff that may or may not be happening. I got a comment on that before I get to my bit. Go ahead.
So then on a television in the mental hospital, the news is talking about this vision of the apocalyptic, which apparently a lot of people experienced, not just Tom and the people in the cemetery and his wife and the kids.
Right.
But not everyone.
No. Weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are interviews on the TV with people who saw things, and they all resonate with what Tom saw earlier, which it wasn't super clear that he saw those things.
Right.
But anyway, so he and his patients are watching in shock, and they're all like, "Oh, I thought it was just me." And he's like, it's nonsense. And then we see his wife looking through the kids' drawings, and there are colored pictures of things that were in the visions.
Yeah. Grim shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in busts her assistant again.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't heard? And they leave the room.
So we don't know what
right.
she hasn't heard.
Because now we're back to Tom, which seems to be the trend.
Right.
Did you know? Tom. So we're back to Tom. He calls and leaves yet another message saying they need to leave the city for a while. Then, as he's looking out the window, he sees something massive in the sky. Then the fire alarm goes off, and everyone heads out. And by everyone, I mean these 3 mental patients and himself.
Right.
They get outside, they see a small ship coming down. It fires at them, and they run. And the jersey-wearing fellow I have dubbed wants to go to war guy says it has to be Russian for no reason whatsoever. Along the bottom side of this thing, there are pods that have people in them. And suddenly it's the patients. Missed that whole bit.
Oh, no, it was zapping them and then they disappeared.
Did
and
they?
Then Tom looked up and they were in the pods.
Huh. Must
have been when you were looking down. Yeah. It was real quick.
If you've got shit happening in a film and it's missed that quick, because in a theater, right, if I reach over to grab my soda, take a sip, and, turn my head back to the screen, if I've missed this whole chapter, then you didn't do it service. Should have been a little longer. I get the feeling it was like 3 seconds. Anyway. So the patients are in there, and then Tom gets zapped and he's in a pod. It's flying up into space. There's a gigantic ship ahead. They're flown inside. There's a bright flash of light. Tom wakes up in a bed. The phone rings. He picks it up. Not his bed.
A bed.
A bed. The woman on the other end says, "Good morning, Mr. Ambassador. MI5 is here to see you." Then he walks into the hall, which is something out of The Grudge.
Right.
It's dark and dismal. And wants to go to war guy is out there just shooting people up. Now Tom's in an orange plastic suit with a respirator. He takes it off. Wants to go to war guy, who I have, since I didn't want to type it out, I changed it to WTG TWG, shouts for help from some stairs, and then a mob descends on him, and they look kind of like zombies. And I thought, this is very strange. And the mob chases Tom through a mall, and then flash, we're in a kitchen. And at this point, I stopped. A few more minutes of this nonsense goes on.
There's a lot of it.
And I ended up writing too much random stuff. Suffice to say, he's having tons of visions.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of my head, honest to God, I was thinking, I don't know what the director is going for, but I have a strong feeling none of this is going to be wrapped up the way he thought it would. So for some strange reason, there are fireballs and explosions and all kinds of that shit going on inside the massive ship.
Yeah.
Nobody's attacking it, right?
No.
Earth doesn't have spaceships. It isn't sending missiles and shit. This place is just, it's like it's fucking coming undone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the ever-loving shit? And then Tom's pod gets knocked from the small ship, falls to a planet. So now we're on a different planet, right?
Yeah.
It's not Earth. Because as soon as they cut to him hitting the water, there's a giant fucking planet over the horizon, or moon, or whatever the fuck it is. The big ship. So he lands in an ocean, and then above we see the large ship explode. Pieces are raining down into the water. Tom makes it to land. He's lost the bracelet from earlier. That was like one of the super clear focus shots of the film. Spent a little more time on it than I thought necessary to show that his wrist was bare, but hey, whatever. Take what you can get. So waiting for him on land are WTG, TWG, the fire door.
Floyd is his name.
Nope, he's been named, and that is what I shall call him.
Oh my God.
Fire door woman and the painter. So fire door lady says, "This isn't home, is it?" And then a massive ass moon is on the horizon that she's looking at, because over her shoulder from the back of her head, when they show him, you can see it. She's looking right at it. I thought, oh, see? Don't caption. If you don't have to, if it doesn't have a purpose, don't senselessly caption the situation in dialogue.
So, okay. So I want to be as fair as I can be.
Please do.
As you're going through this, it is kind of clicking in my head now. I'm like, oh, I get why the director showed us this. I get why this is in the movie. It doesn't make me like the movie anymore, but I understand now. And the fact that it took me watching the movie, taking notes on the movie, reviewing the notes and mashing them together with you, and then also having you talk through them as we're actually recording, that is way too many iterations to make a point in a movie. So here's what I'm just going to say. And I think this is fair. Too much shit going on.
Yeah. We can come back to this at the end, because that I have a big question that is related to that.
Okay.
About this whole thing. So aside from the massive moon, they seem to have shared the same visions that Tom had while he was in the pod, I guess, about all this shit that I stopped writing about. Now they're running across the alien landscape. And I say the alien landscape, not the alien background that I talked about earlier. The alien background was actually the inside of the ship.
Right.
Right? And we only know that because we saw the big ship from the outside, the little ship went in, and then they showed that same shit they showed earlier. And I thought, oh, okay. So anyway, they're on, looks like a old lava field, because it's black dirt and it's granular, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, kudos for location shooting. They're as they're doing this, debris is raining down behind them. They stop, and then they're talking, and a huge piece of the ship sails down and crashes into the ground. Tom says, "That's where we will find answers." So they head towards it. I don't know what the questions are. We haven't been given that in our primer. And then there's another one of those small ships comes by and starts to shoot at them. Tom throws a rock at it, knocks it out of the sky. WTG TWG says, "Wow, what a shot!" I'm thinking, yeah, I'll say.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to mention these small ships that have the little pods on them vary in size depending on what's convenient for the film.
Yes.
Sometimes they're huge.
Right.
Sometimes they're like the size of a car.
Yes, which leads me to believe that this alien race has completely planned out Earth. Not only the humans, but like the Lilliputians. So they have smaller ships for them.
I don't know. Anyway, so Sam, who's the painter, is remembering the zombie dream in the movie complex, which we didn't see in the original villain, like things. It was the zombie dream in the mall, and then suddenly she's in a theater. And then she's in a museum, and there's a painting. It's like, it's kind of a cool looking painting, actually.
Yeah.
It's a rowboat in a turbulent ocean with a beam of light shining down on it. And then Tom's assistant from the medical hospital is there. And then Sam's escorted out by security. And I mean, I wrote all this down, but it's dumb. So I'm just going to kind of skip over it because it was pointless.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It had to do with her addiction and it fucking up her life.
Well,
kind of, sort of,
okay.
ish.
Because there's,
and then.
Well, I was just going to say, so what this comes out to be, very frustratingly, you eventually get that, for some reason they're giving us these mental patients fucking backstories.
Right.
Right. Sort of. Kinda. Like the horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
They have her in the theater and then shit busts out and she's in the mall and the zombie thing's taking place. Well, what it actually is she went into the movie theater, was shooting up, and they fucking threw her out.
Right.
And then there's all this other shit wrapped around it pointlessly to make you wonder, is this just another fucking waste of my time?
Right.
And they do it with everybody.
Yeah. So we learn all their backstories, which are not actually important.
Not at all.
And then their names are Sam is the painter, Floyd is the wants to go to war guy, and Harriet is the fire door woman. And so they're telling Tom that their visions cured them of their illnesses. And they're wondering what Tom's demons are.
Right.
And he just blatantly ignores them and says he wants to go to the ship. And also that you can't possibly be better, by the way.
Right. Well, if that were the case, then his entire career is a sham.
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like he was doing a very good job at it.
I don't even know that he was their doctor.
He says that he is.
Kind of. But he doesn't actually ever act like it or speak like it or interact like it up to this point or in the hospital at the point. Always just made it seem like he was just the guy in the head office.
Yeah.
Controlled the budget.
So, yeah. The 3 patients don't have any interest in getting to the ship.
No.
I don't know where they think they're going to go, but,
right?
Whatever. In the distance, there's like a weird noise and a red light, and Tom hears it because he's left them. He's like, fuck you guys, then I'll go to the ship by myself. Hears it and gets up to see that they've been taken again by one of the collector ships.
Right. Can I just note, the ship fell in the ocean.
Yes.
Looked like before it crashed into the land, but it didn't. When we get there, it's way out in the way out in the ocean. And this dumb motherfucker is climbing down a cliff to get into the water as if he's going to swim the 40 miles to the horizon.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. That's why he's climbing back up or hears when he's climbing.
Yeah. So then he sees it and he jumps on the collector ship to get to the big ship.
Right.
And this is one of those times where these like drone ships, I guess, or whatever. I called them collector ships because that's what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first saw it, it was the size of like a Victorian house, right? And then we see it again and it's like the size of a hospital. And then we see it again and the time he jumps on it.
About the size of a VW bus.
Right. So that's cool.
Yeah. It goes to the spaceship wreckage along with another one. and both ships are inside again. And of course now it's for whatever reason that it blew up, it's still a shambles, and there's still fireballs and shit exploding. One lands and drops 3 pods, presumably the patients who've been picked up again. And the other one with Tom on it is cruising through the fire and debris inside. And yet another small ship starts to fire at him.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Tom pulls a gun off of the hull and starts to fire on the other ship. The ship crashes. He keeps firing, and another small ship is destroyed. He's next to the 3 pods. He opens them up, and yep, it's the patients. And he gives WTG, TWG the laser gun. It's now actually a laser rifle, right? It's a proper rifle. It has a stock. It has a trigger. It has a clip.
When before it was like a halo gun.
Kind of. And before that, that's after he had it in his hand. Before that, it was just some sort of protrusion from the ship, which, was just there for the sake of being there for him to grab. Fuck. And then he points or he pops Painter Lady out of her pod and gives her a gun. I'm thinking, a second gun? What the fuck? And then, now wait a minute. Everyone has a gun.
Yeah.
What the hell? Including him.
It's a magic multiplying, transforming gun.
Oh, Jesus. So there's more little ships arriving, and there's a firefight. Remember this, folks. I guess, remember this. There's a lot of intentional attempts to kill on both sides.
Right.
That's super important for the end. Okay. It takes a bit, but the doctor and his crew win. Painter Woman asks Tom, "Do you understand yet why we're here?" And WTG, TWG asks Tom why Tom brought them there. So right away, I'm thinking, fuck, where is this going? Not one bit of this has carried me through a fucking steady plot line. Right? I'm not looking for all answers to be revealed. I'll follow a thriller to the end to get the answers because that's the excitement. But curiously enough, along the way, they let you know this is the journey you're on. This is the point you're here.
Well, you're on a journey, by the way.
Yeah. So anyway, now there's flashbacks of him playing the space guy from the show as a kid. Suddenly another small ship comes. Tom has a cyber arm, like from the show.
Right.
Yeah, he's got this cyber panel on his arm like the guy in the show did. Kaleidoscope guy. I know it's Kaleidoscope Man, but Kaleidoscope guy actually sounds catchier to me. And then he flashbacks to his dad just after they left the shop. And bam, a car's fallen on him on the lift.
Right.
Right? As a kid, he tried to use his pretend superpowers to lift the car off of his dad. He doesn't, of course, and his dad dies. And at this point, I was wondering, like you said, did he just do it and nothing happened? Or did he actually jiggle the car and it fell further off the thing onto his dad? Did he? Well, I wasn't sure.
Here's the thing. So his brother was there too. And his brother's like, I'll go get help. And little Tom, like a fucking moron, goes, no, bro.
Yep.
I got this. I have this cyber sticker on my arm.
Yeah, that was part of the toy.
So I'm Kaleidoscope Man. I can totally fucking do this, dude. And I think that he killed his dad.
Made it worse?
Yeah.
Okay. Had to take a drink. So, folks, this is where I stopped taking notes. I was so fed up. At this point, I figured I have enough to talk about. And so much more to say that I don't need the movie to watch, movie notes to say. So,
we're going to breeze through the rest of this movie. We have notes because I continued taking notes. I saw that you weren't, and I was like, well, shit, I'm going to.
So here's the thing. I didn't stop intentionally to stop for good. I had to take a time out.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm like, okay, I need to pay attention to this. I need to give this movie my full measure because I just need to know, is it that fucked up or am I just missing a lot of shit? And I don't look down a lot typing, right?
I mean, you're okay. So we're from the generation that was drilled in typing classes,
Yeah.
right? Where if you looked down at your fingers, you got in trouble. And they'd specifically like put a box over your fingers for typing.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not people who have to look at the keyboard that much.
No. I don't look at the keyboard. I look at the screen, what I'm typing.
Sure.
And that's become, and this is a bit of a tangent, but it's become a real distraction. Technology has fucking made writing so much more difficult.
Oh, because of the autocorrect.
Fucking autocorrects and thesauruses, and you can turn all that shit off, but it somehow comes back on when there's a fucking update and stuff. So I know what I'm typing, and occasionally I'll look real quick because I know I'm typing, like Quetzalcoatl. Okay. Nobody's fingers move naturally with that one. Your brain's like, Q, it's all over the place. So, and then as you keep going, you're going to glance quick down to what you're typing. What you're supposed to do when you're touch typing is you're supposed to be, like if you're reading off of something or you're listening and typing, or, you're typing notes and stuff off of some other paper, you're not supposed to just take a quick look, but you're not supposed to aren't supposed to stop typing while you do it. So, but even with all that, let's come back to this. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna be fair, because at this point I'm starting to get furious. I thought, all right, I'm going to give this movie and the director and the writer a moment, and that's when I sat back. I felt the look on my face.
Yeah,
so I was really straining physically.
Because I looked at you, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that look stayed there for a long time, so you might have seen me. If you saw me right away when I did it, I was still thinking, but it didn't take long for me to be just checked out. After I gave it some time, I realized, fuck this.
You were glaring at the movie.
Then that was after, because it was more of a glare than a concentrated.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so from here, it's mostly Danny's notes. I'll be reading part of it, but we're going to breeze through. So, because we got a lot to talk about for little substance.
Yeah. So Tom wakes up again in a pod, and he has his dad's bracelet. So they dreamed all that, and they're fixed though still, which is dumb. And then he wonders why the aliens would make them do that. And then they see the Earth below. So the ship is no longer on fire. They're looking out over the Earth from the ship above.
Yeah. On
Earth, there's a radio report about the thing appearing in the sky. There's astronauts looking at it.
In the ISS.
Yeah. Then there's like a big traffic jam. It's just a bunch of random shit, Earth dealing with this big thing in the sky. Then there's a massive explosion in New York City, and like a mushroom cloud forms. Which
was not the aliens.
No.
You're led to believe it for a while. But it's actually some lunatic who they've mentioned way at the beginning through all the chaotic.
I literally never caught a second of that. Honestly, had no idea.
I just heard it was because they had all these UN shots and things from like all the fucking nuclear accords from the 70s and the UN tapes and stuff. It's just weird. So anyway, there's some like mental case running around, terrorists threatening to blow up like the planet because nobody's giving him the time of day. I glazed over it in the notes because it seemed like super unimportant. And it still is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he set off the mushroom cloud.
Yeah. So anyway, wife, Mandy, gets to the cafe to meet with him, and obviously he's not there, and then kind of shit starts happening.
Yeah.
A bunch of ships, little collector ships leave the big ship, and it's like a cloud of ships, basically. More cities start blowing up, and Floyd says that they're following, wants to go to war guy. Says that they're following the San Andreas fault line, so they're going to break the Earth.
Yeah.
And then the military starts to roll out to combat the invasion. I'm just really quick, bang, 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 breezing through this because I gotta.
Yeah. So everyone suddenly is deafened by some weird sound as the military rolls out. The collector ships take the astronauts. And then on Earth, they start firing into the crowd. There's and you had noted these are really big crowds of people to get on an indie film.
Yeah.
And that's true. I mean, there's some aspects we'll talk about that aren't totally shit, but from above, Tom and the crew are watching helplessly. Tom somehow, this is the best part. He's probably, I don't know, 100 miles above the atmosphere,
Right.
right? And somehow in this ship, he's got a fucking signal. So I don't know if Cricket Mobile boosted their shit, but we know it's not one of the 4 big carriers that enabled this. But suddenly he's got phone signal. He calls Mandy. She's busy hiding. He tells her they gotta get on the ships. It comes down to that. And it just, I don't even want to talk about the rest of that because none of it makes any fucking sense. It's epiphany after epiphany after epiphany without any substantiating dialogue, plot, storyline, or anything. It's just all of a sudden he just reached up his ass to his elbow, pulled this polyp out, and it said, "Hey, here's the new thing." He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So what happens is Tom is like, aliens, they don't understand that you're trying to help them. Wow, why the fuck would they?
Yeah.
And so he makes the aliens project his image all over the earth somehow.
Yes.
Just big, busted Tom.
Yep.
All over everywhere, explaining to everyone, let the aliens take you. Which works for some reason.
Because Tom has street cred as a nobody doctor in a mental institution that is clearly like Aunt Betty's tool shed.
Yeah. So, yeah, it somehow works for most of the people. And then I guess it's the next morning and the earth is somehow still kind of there. And Mandy's in the church and we're back with Father Robert. And this is all for literally no reason except to explain, oh, by the way, guys, I have a message I want to deliver you with this movie.
Yep.
So he's doing a sermon on power and greed, and it's real heavy-handed. Really, like obnoxiously heavy-handed.
And
this whole sermon.
Grotesquely inaccurate.
Yes, that also. And then Mandy leaves the church and I'm like, oh, Tom literally told her to like stop hiding. She missed the boat, I guess.
Right.
But she goes to the grave of the little girl and is like, I just wanted to say goodbye. Really?
Yeah.
And the sky is pretty messed up. And then she's gone because the massive fire that's devouring the earth comes and gets her.
Yeah, for some reason, there's a giant fireball cruising over the earth. Started in North America.
Yeah.
And yeah, and she sees it coming.
Yeah.
You know, the sky's lighting up and things in the distance. She's just there. La-di-da.
So, I mean, it is an earnest effort, this movie, but it did really go off the rails about halfway through and especially towards the end.
Yeah.
So Tom eventually, sorry, I just went past that, but the collector ships start depositing everyone on the mothership. And then Sam is like, they're angels. And then the ship leaves the flaming earth.
Yeah.
And, I thought that would be the end, but no.
Right.
Tom goes into a pod and goes to sleep. And then we have shots of the pods, all of them. And it goes on for like a while.
I know.
So long.
Minutes.
And then we land on a pod with Mandy in it. And so miraculously, she somehow got saved, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's just another corny piece of crap in a bigger piece of crap.
Yeah. And then I did note as a last sentence on my notes that it is kind of a weird music choice to play over the end credits. Because it was.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, that's Invasion Planet Earth.
Yeah.
This movie has a lot of lessons that can be learned from it. A lot of good lessons. And it was genuinely, I feel, like an earnest effort.
Well, it was. So let's
go through the bad first, and then we'll go through the good, so it doesn't seem like we're just
ending by butchering it.
Right.
Okay. Can I start?
Why don't you start?
Okay. So this is how my soul felt sitting through this. it felt like every bit of life just out of me.
Yeah.
It's one of the few movies that enraged me just because it was that bad.
You were
It's not like
super mad.
it's not like it was a topic. We've attacked a couple films with a ridiculous topic, stupid storytelling, and presentation of things that just don't belong, right? No, this was just so bad. It was starting to give me a headache on the fucking flashing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth to shit that didn't make any sense. I I get here's the first thing I thought when this was done. Okay, clearly the dude has seen 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Right.
Okay, 2001: A Space Odyssey is its own film. There's a reason it's in the Criterion Collection. There's a reason it's in all of these halls of fame. There's a reason it is the foundation of science fiction film. It's not the most riveting film, but that's not its intention. It's not an action, right? But here's the thing. Leave it alone. Okay? Don't think, oh, well, if I come up with these weird flashy vision things, it can help tell my story. You probably can't, and you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. If you have a message, layer it. Layer it. The message should speak for itself, one syllable at a time, throughout the entire basis of the film, so that when you get to the end, it has produced a cohesive message that you can be like, oh, you know.
Here's what made me mad about this movie and what still makes me mad and what I pray and beg and plead with everyone. Please, 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 please do not do this. Here is what happened with this movie. From the logline and the trailer, we were told that this was Independence Day.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what we were given was, what's that Al Gore documentary that's, the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Keep talking. I'll look at it. I know the one. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Anyway, it's the introspective, we're gonna, all kill ourselves with our hate and bullshit.
An inconvenient truth.
Right. So the log line and the trailer were like, Independence Day. And then you watch the movie and it's an inconvenient truth. And you get no warning, no nothing. No. And people are not going to like a movie.
If you tell them it's a romantic comedy and it's a snuff film, you're gonna get some righteous backlash.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why people hate on this movie.
Because so here's my thought reading that log line, right? And then when we saw the trailer, it made me think, okay, so this, he lost a daughter. I don't know about the faith thing or whatever. But his wife's pregnant. All this shit's happening. So here's an average guy who now has something to motivate him above and beyond. It's going to catapult him in the hero's journey.
Right.
Right. So it's kind of like Independence Day, but we're not going with the government and then the, campy cab driver and the dispirited, disassociated scientist or outcast or whatever. We're going to have a guy who's like, no, bullshit.
Fuck these aliens.
Yeah. You're not going to fucking do this. I got a wife and a baby on the way, man. We're going to
pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, we're going to beat this.
Yeah.
That's not what it was.
Not even close.
It was, we've done, and it really was. It talks and talks and talks and talks at the end, almost to the point where, dude, if this were a TED Talk, I would definitely have made it to the stage to just slap the shit out of you before security got to me, because you're talking to people.
There's a time limit on TED Talks for a reason.
Yes. But, oh, Jesus Christ. He's talking in the most simplistic stuff. I mean, it's not even like thoughtful. It's just a diatribe of nonsense on how we've, da-da-da. So the whole point of this thing is the aliens are supposed to give everyone a second chance.
Right.
So here's my thing. Well, why didn't the fucking aliens just handle the situation? And first of all, let's talk about this fucking spaceship. Why is the fucking thing on fire? Every time? Why? Why is it coming apart everywhere? Not just in the visions, but when they're just sitting there, there's shit going off in the background. What the ever loving fuck?
Well, those were actually the visions.
No, because when he's like on the phone, you see in the background.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I saw it
I don't know.
because it made me mad.
Because you can put effects in there, so.
Well, that's kind of the thing. We'll get to that in a little bit. It was a giant soapbox piece that was incohesive to the point of almost being incoherent. So I want to talk about, if these aliens are here to help, why the fuck have we had all these firefights? Why are they trying to fucking kill Tom when he's on the spaceship? When he's on the little ship inside the big ship? And
well, they weren't. That was part of the vision.
I don't think I'd see, but here's more. I don't think it was part of all the visions because it didn't make sense.
Well,
And you could be right, but I can't agree to that because none of these visions make sense. They're all hostile. They're all counterintuitive to what the message at the end is, which is they're just here to help, to show us a better way and all this and that. Like, first of all, the planet that, they picked out for your visions is fucking desolate. Secondly, everything's on fire in and out of your visions. Third, every fucking time you turn around, shit's, looking violent and dangerous. And if he is trying to use the art of misdirection, fucked up completely. Totally missed the mark on that. It was awful. From a story writing standpoint, none of it fucking made sense. The dialogue was atrocious. The character development was nil.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and here's the big problem, which is, so I feel like, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, I feel like I'm a couple of steps ahead of you because after I had my little epiphany while we were recording, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand now what all of the things were supposed to mean. But the big problem is you don't, right? And the fact that you don't means that his direction, his movie, his writing, his story, his fucking everything was so mixed up and stupid and unclear that he failed to get his point across.
Well, let me respond to that. It's not that I don't get it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
When I backed out, okay, I'm going to take a break, and I stopped processing.
Yeah.
And usually it's happened as we've done movies, we've done this show. Somewhere along the way, it'll hit me while we're talking about it, or towards the end, I'll talk about, like, okay, so now I get, I didn't get it in the notes because at the time it's boom, 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 boom. But now I think it was this, or I saw it as that.
Upon reflection.
Right. I spent no time on this in fact, we did the information sheets. I did it 5 minutes before it was time. Because I just didn't fucking care. I didn't care. I knew I wasn't going to research this. I knew I wasn't going to look for the budget. I knew I wasn't going to look for other information. Because it was just that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Infuriatingly bad. And I'm just the kind of person who at this point, you've done such a terrible job writing and directing and making this, your film, that you have enraged me because it's just so bad and it's taxing.
Yeah.
And I'm wasting my time. I'm done. Life's too short to waste research time on a turd like this. It was a complete failure. Where's my thing? Yep. This movie was the wrong answer to everything. There it is. Now, I could go on for another hour, but I don't think I want to spend the energy doing that.
Okay. So, with all that said, let's examine.
Yeah. I was going to say something positive to bring us in.
Okay.
So, aside from a few quirks, like the size disparity of the little ships and the random imagery inside the giant ship, I will say the special effects were pretty good.
They were.
These are all 3D renders.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We've talked many times about that. A lot of people use Blender and maybe a couple other things. It's no easy task, right? It's a lot to learn. You got to really work at it. And like our friend Anton, most of his life is waiting for hours and hours and hours to pass as he's trying to render, 5 seconds
Mm-hmm.
of film with the effects. Other than the interior of the ship, there was a lot that looked great. The planets, when they're on the alien planet,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff in the horizon was great.
Yeah.
And this was something that actually surprised me. The giant ship. So earlier when I said he looks up and he sees the giant ship in the sky, he doesn't see it in the sky. This is very hard to do. People don't get this. When you see these alien ships, they're usually like in the atmosphere and they're clear. His was outside of the atmosphere, so you could see it through the blue haze of our atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
letting you know that this thing is giant and it's in space.
Right.
It's not in the atmosphere messing around. It's way up there. And it looked authentic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a full A+ mark from me.
Yeah.
A lot of the explosions, some of them didn't quite match.
Well, and that happens even in, like the bigger indie studios, that they don't always succeed with explosions and gunfire and stuff. It's tough.
Well, it is. And I'm just saying that, some of them didn't quite match. And you could tell some of them were, stock generated.
Yeah.
You can buy the packages and stuff. And no bad marks for that.
No.
Right? With all that, though, the visually, that stuff worked. It was just unfortunately overshadowed by all the non-effects shots that just drove you mad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So a couple of other things that I think, I'm not going to say don't watch this movie because it'll infuriate you. I think there are some lessons that can be learned from this movie. This guy, Simon Cox, he had tons of locations.
Yes.
Tons of different sets. I don't know how long it took him to put this movie together, but I get the sense that it probably took him a long time to put it together.
Yeah.
And the continuity was pretty good throughout. But yeah, lots of locations, lots of sets. This was, it was very ambitious.
It was.
Scope of this.
And by lots of locations, it doesn't mean that he went to, Aunt Betty's farm and then Uncle Todd's, junkyard and stuff like that.
No.
Like there were massive city street scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the crowds that you were talking about, the crowd that size. There was the mall.
Yeah.
Now they could have done it. I don't know what their mall operating hours are, but it could have been on a holiday or Sunday at 8 a.m. They don't open till noon, and he got permission to film in there or something. As an independent filmmaker, those are huge accomplishments.
They are.
To get locations, because we've talked about it. A lot of indie filming is guerrilla filming.
Yeah.
Try to get in and get out before you're caught. So yeah, he did do a lot of locations.
Mm-hmm. And crowds, so many crowds.
Yes.
And he also managed to get some military shots, and that stuff is hard to convincingly fake. And I think the weakest part of his military crowds were the little baby tanks.
They weren't baby tanks. They were armored personnel carriers,
okay.
APCs. They look like little tanks, but
they look like baby tanks.
Well, they do. But notice he had several of them.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't mock up a car.
Right.
Right? As we've seen. He had several of those. The uniforms looked pretty authentic.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the, dollar store Halloween after holiday special with the plastic helmet and the weird semi-plastic polyester shirt thing.
The guns looked pretty good.
Yeah.
quality wise, on a technical level, this movie is really good.
Well, let's break those down. Lighting, it's
Good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Sound. There were a couple moments where I was like, huh, but whatever, not going to worry about that.
For the most part, it was good.
For the most part, it was good, and it could be heard. And I think for me, I think for most people, there are certain aspects of the different English accents that when there are certain variants of the English accent that when they speak quickly, or they're in a conversation where one's talking like over one another or at the same time, that particular act, it's hard to figure out what they're saying because it's super fast. There's noise around it, and it's not long. Not like they say something and then you can hear the reaction to it and you're like, oh, okay. Now it puts it together in my head. A few of those moments, but that's not really a sound issue. That's just kind of how it went. I will say a big bomb on the editing.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so here's. I was trying to go with positive things, but we do have to mention the editing.
Well, we're in the technical aspects. There's still more stuff.
Because it was incongruent. It was disorienting. Didn't make a whole lot of sense sometimes. If you don't need to cut away to get the point across for something, then you don't. Like the little shots of the wife listening to voicemails, we didn't need those.
No.
At all.
No.
No. And there were a lot of them like that. A lot of very short, very pointless cutaways.
Yeah. Well, that there's three aspects there. First, it's the writing, then it's the direction, and then it's the editing. And I'm going to use that movie from last night, Shark and Saw. What was it? Shark and Saw Prison Massacre?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh my God, so bad. Anyway, so in the first opening moments of this movie, we see people in their winter or late fall coats.
Right.
They're not like in puffy parkas, but they're definitely it's
like thick flannel coat.
Yeah, it's late October, early November in northern Saskatchewan kind of weather, right? It's fucking cold.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the entire thing, not just those bits in the beginning, but throughout the entire thing, they kept talking about how hot and steamy the weather is. The guy saying it is wearing a fucking toque. And, I'm like, are you shitting me? Now, granted, the women inmates are in cut-off jean shorts and white tank tops, which they were wearing solely so they could pour water over themselves and show off their brightly colored bras underneath.
Of course.
That's literally what it was, a long and uncomfortable series of shots. But anyway, it's kind of serendipitous that I watched the rest of that movie. Because here's the example. So you're shooting in the winter. Change the fucking script, man. Right?
Yeah.
Don't try and pretend that it's so hot. Like it's actually like you're in like the most southern edge of Arkansas on a 115-degree fucking day after 3 days of rain. And the water is so thick. It's like 0.01% away from becoming a fucking just fish tank.
Humid, like a big sauna.
Yeah. Don't do that when everyone's dressed in winter clothing and you can see their breath in the air and all the foliage is dead and gone. Right? With that, when you write a script, that's your story. That's what you want to see on the screen as the writer. First step, go through and find out what's irrelevant. Okay, we do that. Mm-hmm. Everyone should do that. And there are those moments where it's like, nope, not cutting that. I'm not. That's sort of like the foundation point of this, right? And you think, okay, so I'm going to get a director and make it work. Here's the problem with writer-directors. And we know a lot of writer-directors, right? And they do well, but there's a lot who don't, can't handle having both of those, mallets of power
Because they
in
don't
each hand.
have someone in their life who can check them.
Right. They go completely unchecked. So here's the thing. I saw this as Simon Cox wrote this with his other Simon, Bovey, Bowden,
Yeah.
Bowden,
Bovin, Boval. I don't know.
Truly doesn't matter. So they wrote this, and then he goes to direct it, and he wants to put it all in. And then whoever was, I didn't even check the credits. I don't give a shit, but he might have edited it. Whoever was editing it clearly was either given the instructions, it all stays in, or it was him, and he refused to let go of anything. Because like you said, all those cut shots, that whole phone conversation thing should have fucking been one phone call, the one when it went, that's it. We didn't need any more because none of that played into any advancement of the story.
No, it did not.
And in fact, it would have been better to not have the fucking phone. Editing has to clean up the story. We just talked with Tucky Williams about Dagger Kiss and Enchanted Forest, and she said there was a performance that was not what it was on screen. Her editor masterfully created shots and takes and moved things around so that everything but the person itself was fabricated.
Yeah.
Okay. And for you visual folks, from a photographer's standpoint, when a photographer, and I'm a photographer and I can tell you point blank, when I take a picture, it's my representation, unless you're a photojournalist. And even that's a whole different thing. But when I take like a landscape photo, I am carefully crafting and framing to present this to you through my vision. It's not actually going to look like that. It can't, because you don't go through life wearing different lenses on your eyes to crop and, filter the glare so that, when you're at a high altitude, the sky goes from dark blue to almost black because I'm cutting all the haze out because I just have a UV filter going on. That's all it takes. That presentation is beautiful, but it's not real, which is what makes it art.
Right.
And yeah, someone should have done that.
Absolutely. Yes.
With this. A lot of stuff was just all the cutscenes, the fast stuff. You got to pare it down. Because a lot of it didn't make sense. A lot of it was too quick.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is you need someone to vet your work for you. So when you cut something together, that's why like David Keith watched Redwood Massacre Annihilation so many times. He was so sick of it. But he kept watching it with people so that he could hear what they had to say about it. Because you see it too many times, you don't see it anymore. Right? And if you know what's going on, all these quick cut scenes might seem logical to you because you know. Right? But for us, we're like, what? What? I don't know what any of this means.
And that's the thing is if you study how movies are edited, it isn't just showing this happening. Now this is happening. Now this is happening. Now this is happening. Right? And that's what this movie did.
Yeah.
There was no art to cutting between scenes. None at all.
No.
It was, it was like Lily, cutting together
the little dance music video or the music videos with her castle people and stuff. Yeah.
And
or her zombie shooting lessons.
It's certainly no dig at her, right?
Well, no, she's a
But
child.
when she was learning how to cut things together and doing film editing,
it's very linear.
What she was learning was how to stick clips together.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first step.
Yeah.
Okay. There are many more steps after that in order to make editing into an art form. And that didn't happen here. That said, I do think the biggest lesson from this movie that someone could take from watching it is that your ambition as an independent filmmaker, as a writer, as a director, as a whatever, doesn't have to be as limited as you might believe it to be. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that this movie is a really good example of what someone can accomplish in terms of like, you know, special effects on their own, number of locations, number of people. Like,
Right.
I can't get over how much he managed to accomplish with this movie, despite the intense handicap of the shitty story and obnoxious message.
Well, yeah, if you take the story away, there's a lot of accomplishments, you know, getting locations and crowds and people and extras. I mean, that's the thing. You know, David Keith, Liam Matheson with Attack of the Herbals, they had the whole town in on it, right? But you can see, you know, there's always people, they're looking at the camera in the background, you know, and you can't yell cut and you can't reshoot that shit because it's like, it's, you know, you've got, you know, $50. That's what my budget for today is for shooting. And if anybody fucks up in the background, well, you know, whatever, you know, hopefully people are focusing on something else. But yeah, I guess that's the biggest thing is you can do all this stuff, but oh man, you've got to hone the story craft. You just do. And as we go back to this, you need to bring people in. Because I tell you what, if he had taken this, these two guys had taken this to like a third outside party who's afraid, you know, not afraid to tell him, damn, and say, well, here's where it's all wrong. Here's what you need to do to fix it. Right. And then, you know, take those notes and fix it. This could have been way better.
This movie definitely could have been fixed.
The story killed the ambition.
Yeah. The message killed the movie.
The message was ridiculous. This was not a cohesive idea.
No, it was not.
It truly was not. It was just sort of like a whim, or this is how I feel. I think we should use solar power. And then you come up with all this weird disembodied fucking story parts. You Frankenstein them together into this massive aberration.
Yeah.
And that's what we ended up with, you know. So I guess my part on the big lesson is earnestly pursue your project.
Yeah.
But for the love of God, do what doesn't cost money, which is reach out to other people. If you can't find another independent film director or writer anywhere in the world near where you're at, then you're just not looking, period. You're just not looking, right?
Find someone who will give you constructive criticism.
Yeah. Well, there was a time when they thought independent filmmakers were like, you know, well, there's a couple hundred of them. I mean, that was like the idea.
Yeah.
Right? There are more independent filmmakers than there will ever be studios. And I'm not talking people who shoot one-offs and then, oh, I'm a filmmaker. You know, this is a legitimate film.
Yeah.
It's got distribution through VOD. It's not a YouTube thing. You know, I don't want to piss on the YouTubers, but, you know, uploading your shit to YouTube is not taking that extra step. You know, if you have a distribution company or, you know, have a production company and you're showing stuff on there, that's fine, but get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to keep pushing your work. That's kind of the thing. Reach out to people, collaborate, do a rough cut. If you can't get past the script part, okay, shoot the shit, do a rough cut and then show it to somebody and then take notes and realize when you have 50 people out of 53 viewers going, then you need to figure out where that is coming from.
Yeah.
You know, story sucked. Editing didn't do anything to help it. Those could have been fixed.
Yeah.
But the effects, you know, were pretty good, except for the size thing. I don't know why that comes into play.
I mean, to be fair, we've seen multiple asylum films that have trouble with the size of
the yacht size
things.
Shark, the rowboat size shark, the pocket shark, and the
well, let's not forget the velociraptor-sized T-Rex.
Oh, yeah.
The like Empire State Building-sized T-Rex.
And literally the plastic figure-sized T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's hilarious.
All in the same movie.
Yeah, and it kills me because you know what it is, right? You click on the object and you drag the corner bigger, smaller,
Mm-hmm.
bigger, smaller. Anyway,
Pretty
uh,
much.
so from the technical aspects, yeah, if you want to watch this, my advice simply is don't try to figure it out and don't invest yourself in the story
Yeah.
because you're just going to punch yourself in the nuts after as wasted effort. But pay attention to the things, the scale of the sets, the
Mm-hmm.
locations, the people, the effects.
Right.
You know, they're not ILM level, but no one's going to get that. But
Mm-hmm.
they were pretty good. And I'm going to tell you, like I said, some of those distance shots of things, I haven't seen that in these kinds of films. So that's like
Yeah.
a first for me. Like, fuck, they get it. Atmosphere, distance, light. Because it's not like the whole thing was just there, but with a blue haze.
Right.
It looked legitimate.
Yeah.
Like a large celestial object just outside, our atmosphere, what we would see.
Yeah. And I do want to give credit for this movie being an absolute earnest effort.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share a little story.
Story time.
Story time. When I was in 3rd grade, I was learning about recycling and saving the earth and how humans were, like polluting and destroying it and everything.
Right.
And little 3rd grade me was infuriated by this.
Yes.
Because I was like, I have to live here. The fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
But I not in 3rd grade. I was like a pretty naive little child. It was like 4th grade for sure before I started secretly swearing when my mom wasn't around.
Indeed.
Yeah, late bloomer. I know. So anyway, I decided in 3rd grade that, well, if no one's going to be doing anything about this, I'm going to do something about this. So I approached my friend Jenny about starting a Save the Earth Club.
Mm-hmm.
And she and I had a couple little meetings about things that we were going to do around town, like pick up litter and everything. And because I was like 8 years old, I was absolutely positive and convinced that my Save the Earth Club was going to save the earth. It was going places, as kids do.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is the kind of naivety, right, that I felt like emanated from this movie. Like Simon Cox felt like by making this movie, he's gonna put a fucking end to war and terrorism and hate across the earth.
Right.
And this movie would be his magnum opus and save the world.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree.
But at some point, that 8-year-old girl who started to Save the Earth Club realized this really isn't making much of a difference. But I know that there are, I grew the fuck up.
There you go.
And and realized the practical and pragmatic things that I can do to do my part.
Right.
Right. And, grew out of that naivety. But I feel like maybe Simon Cox never did.
Well, yeah.
My club in 3rd grade was absolutely earnest.
Well, and a lot since then have been.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different conversation. Folks listening to this are too old to be, firing up clubs in school. But we all know the score, right? We all know the score. Shit's got to change. However, this was just way more than just, pick up your cans and, global warming. This was, he tried to we fucked up everything, which, we have. Okay, fair. But oh my God, terrible way of presenting it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, I think it's beyond naivety. It's, I don't know. Anyway, so I think one, because I'm getting hotter than hell.
I'm super hot. Why did I wear pants and like a long sleeve shirt?
Putting pajamas on like we did last time. Pajama shorts.
5 minutes into this recording, I was like, shit.
Yep. Once we got rolling, I'm like, nope. Once we get going, we don't stop. No. Yeah. B-siders. It's that time of year. So the air conditioning is off.
The heater is on.
So our little
prison cell
10
of
by
a
6 studio here. Now I suppose I could close it because I opened that wide up for the air conditioning. I suppose I could
close that.
But yeah, so anyway, we got the heat right in the middle of us, blowing down on each of us equally.
Mm-hmm.
The door is shut, and we have so many sound panels,
which make this room super insulated.
Yes. So we're just, I at least for the next 6 months will be pissing and moaning about how fucking hot it is in here. Just because that's me. And, if you're a longtime listener of the show, you know that because I did that last year. It's too hot. All right. But bottom line, we're not saying don't watch it. Just saying don't get invested. Learn some stuff. See where it went wrong. See what we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Compare it to your own stuff, what you're working on. Is this too preachy, whatever.
Right. That's the whole point of this podcast. We're not trying to discourage people from watching movies that we think are stinkers, because we believe very firmly and very earnestly that there is something that can be learned from every film.
Except for one.
Except that one.
Which, we were fair, had some beautiful technical aspects.
True. But
it's still a festering piece of shit that should be abolished. Anyway,
we shall not name it.
It shall not be named.
Okay.
Anyway. So, take all of that. And by the way, I'm going to bring up our website. When you go there, scroll all the way down on the podcast page and find the Ed Wood retrospective. We did that just before the new year. Because Ed Wood is just a wonderful example of passion projects, and nothing diminished his fucking ambition or positivity.
I just can't help but love Ed Wood.
Plan 9 from Outer Space, Glen or Glenda, just so many. Anyway, websites.
Our website. You go to www.lordsofmisruleproductions.com. There you can find all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We go through it all in every episode. I mean,
yeah, it's got our links. It's got pages, updates on what we're doing in so much. I've been pretty bad about doing updates because I haven't really been working on a lot of the post stuff because of all the aforementioned shit earlier that we brought up.
Personal project.
Yeah, it will be there. Patreon link, email links. I love having people reach out to us through email.
Absolutely.
Suggesting some films and stuff.
Or reach out to us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you can reach out to us there. Message. On the off chance that somebody listening is a podcast promoter and all that stuff, don't message us. Please stop. I know probably those people don't listen to any of the podcasts. They just spam them. But, fellow podcasters, I'm sure you can understand. I hate getting bombarded with that shit because if I want help promoting my podcast, I will fucking go get it.
Yeah.
All right. Quit following me to message me to, hey, I can promise you 8,500 hits a month. I said, dude, all right, we're doing just fine. We haven't spent a fucking dime on promotion because we have a small niche. This isn't a money-making opportunity. This isn't an industry that we're doing.
This is something we're doing because we want to.
Yeah, this is part of what we're doing and part of our production company, and we love doing this.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get some income to pay for the podcast and some special things, but whatever. I don't want to promote.
That's not the point of it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
What else? Is that all our stuff? Oh, also, check out our Patreon page. Speaking of,
there's a link to that.
If you like the podcast and you want to help support us, because this does cost money to do, check out our Patreon page.
Yeah. we get some money goals. Everything's listed there. It's one tier, and we got a lot of stuff that we would be love to be doing, but we got to hit those goals. There's a link to it on our webpage, or you can go to Patreon and search on Bravo for the B-side now.
Heckin' yeah.
Because we're not considered adult content.
Right.
They misrepresented what that meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because we swear it doesn't make it adult content, although they made it very clear in the beginning that's what they wanted me to rate it as. I'm a little livid about that because we lost a lot of time.
Well,
but anyway,
it's fixed now.
Yeah, you know where to find us. The links are there.
Yeah.
And the different platforms and stuff, RSS feeds, so on. When you do listen, please rate the show on the platform that you're on, especially if you're listening through Apple Podcasts. Because, oh my God, it's super important. Leave a review. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. And we're just going to keep going until we get another one for next week, which we know it's already on the agenda.
I'm excited.
And
it's a fun one.
It's long overdue.
It is.
It's long overdue. Yeah.
Yeah. And it always feels good to know that we can look forward to one that we know is like a good one after we do one that's not so great.
It's a wonderful palate cleanser.
Oh, yeah. So I think that's it.
All right. So, B-siders.
Until next week.
Wear your masks. Do your stuff. Quit bitching. Quit pissing. Quit moaning. And shit, by the time this comes out, it'll be too late. But Jesus Christ, I hope you voted.
Yeah.
Oh, now more than ever. But anyway, take care of yourselves. Do your projects. Write your stuff. Reach out to people if you need to. We're here. We would, whatever. Just reach out to us. We'll see if we can help or bullshit or whatever. See your stuff. Promote it. Whatever we can. So with that, this is Jim.
And this is Danny.
And we are going to see you folks. Fucking did it again.
We're going to talk to you.
We're going to talk to you folks next week. And good luck and keep moving.
Bye.
Bye.